All right, let's talk about mobile marketing, but we're going to move way beyond the basics here. Today, we're diving into how Dakshraj Enterprise is completely re-engineering the game by building a complete mobile ecosystem because that's the real key to driving sustainable growth. So, let me start by asking you the single most important question about your mobile strategy. Are your campaigns actually bringing in loyal, valuable users? Or are you just racking up a bunch of temporary app installs that disappear after a week? Because that difference, well, it's everything. You know, the rules of this game have totally changed. In today's market, if you're still focused on simple downloads or clicks, it's kind of like measuring a car's success by how many times you open the door. Sure, it's a number, but it tells you absolutely nothing about where you're actually going. We've got to look so much deeper than that.
And this brings us right to the heart of the matter, the real challenges that so many businesses are grappling with right now. If your strategy hasn't kept up, you're probably feeling the pain in some very specific and pretty costly ways.
Do any of these sound familiar? Maybe you're pouring money into paid installs only to watch them churn out almost immediately. Or a user starts on your website, gets an SMS, then opens your app, but the whole experience feels completely disjointed. You see, these aren't just a handful of small problems. They're all symptoms of a single fragmented system.
And this quote just nails the financial impact, doesn't it? A user who bails before they ever become valuable isn't just a missed opportunity. They're a net loss on your ad spend. Here's the thing, getting a user is easy, but getting a valuable user, that's the entire game right there.
Ultimately, all those things we just talked about, the high churn rates, the poor attribution, those broken journeys, they all lead back to one place, a direct hit to your bottom line. This is a revenue problem that just happens to be disguised as a marketing problem.
So, how do we fix it? Well, you stop treating mobile as a collection of separate, disconnected channels, and you start building a single, unified ecosystem. Let's dig into how that actually works.
The key word here is unified. An omnichannel ecosystem means that what a customer does on your website today informs the push notification they get tomorrow, which then leads them into a seamless conversation on WhatsApp. It all works together. It becomes one continuous conversation, not just a series of disconnected shouts. Now, this chart really shows the difference. Look at the left side, the old way. You're just chasing installs, every channel is in its own little silo, and you end up wasting a ton of money. But now look to the right. The ecosystem way flips the script entirely. The focus is on lifetime value, the channels are all orchestrated, and the result is sustainable growth and a much healthier ROI. Building this ecosystem requires a pretty comprehensive toolkit. We're talking about everything from App Store optimization to make sure people can actually find you, all the way to things like deferred deep linking. That just ensures a user has a perfectly smooth journey from an ad directly to a specific page inside your app, even if they have to install it first. We engineer every single touch point.
Okay, let's drill down into what is maybe the most critical part of this whole strategy, because getting a user to download your app is really only the beginning of the story. This, right here, is one of the biggest shifts in modern marketing. As the cost of acquiring new customers just keeps climbing, keeping the ones you already have is the single most powerful, most sustainable way to grow. Your business model isn't just acquisition anymore, it's retention. So how do we make that happen? It's a simple but really powerful three-step loop. First, we track behavior. For example, we see a user added something to their cart but then left the app. Second, we identify that as a critical drop-off point. And third, we automatically reactivate them with a perfectly timed, personalized message a few hours later, bringing them right back to finish what they started. It's a continuous loop. And of course, this is all built on a tech stack that's designed for the modern, privacy-first world we live in. We use the absolute best mobile measurement partners and make sure everything is compliant with frameworks like Apple's SK Ad Network. What this really means for you is that you get the clearest possible picture of your return on ad spend, even with all of today's tracking limitations. Let's also talk about messaging. Now, traditional SMS is fine, but newer tech like RCS completely transforms a simple text into an app-like experience. This means you get your official branding to build trust, you can send image carousels to show off products, and you can even add interactive buttons to drive action, all right inside the user's normal messaging app. It's a huge leap in engagement.
Okay, so we've gone through the strategy and the tech, but let's get to the most important question. What does this all actually mean for your business? What are the real-world results?
Let's start with this number, 80%.
According to Gartner, a whopping 80% of your company's future mobile revenue is going to come from just 20% of your existing customers. That's not just a fun fact. It's the core economic reason why a retention-first ecosystem is so absolutely critical.
And once you get that right, the positive outcomes just cascade. You start attracting higher quality users, and you keep them longer. You finally get clear attribution, so you stop wasting money on campaigns that don't work, and you create a truly connected journey that not only converts better today, but also gets you ready for the next wave of AI and voice search.
So, the bottom line is this. If you are ready to move past just chasing temporary installs and want to build a mobile strategy that delivers real long-term value, then building a smarter ecosystem is the way to do it.
And if you're ready to see how this ecosystem approach can be tailored directly to your business, you can learn more over at Dakshraj.com.
So we'll end right where we began, with that central question. I want you to take a hard look at your current efforts, your metrics, your results, everything. Are you building a strategy for a fleeting metric, or are you building it for lifetime value? Because the answer to that question will define your future growth.